Hey guys, it's Chris with History Loves Company, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make your videos go from this to this. Welcome to History Loves Company.
In a lifetime.
I'm Chris Hubel. Where am I? Hubel. Chris. Where am I? Welcome to History Loves Company. Where am I? Chris Hubel.
Once in a lifetime.
Welcome to History Loves Company. And to do so, I'm going to be bringing in my special guest, regular sized Rick.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome me, yeah.
Welcome you.
Thank you. This is the first time I've ever been in front of the camera on History Loves Company.
Yeah, I
This
mean,
is a-
generally speaking, you're behind the camera. We keep you out of the scenes.
Yeah.
I'm not real sure for what reason. Maybe, what do you guys think? Should we put him in front of the camera a little more?
I don't know. He's never touched my beard before.
I've never touched his
So-
beard before. That is, in fact, true.
It's real. It's 100% real.
So anyways, what are we here to talk about today? We wanted to talk about...
Media, like your video, your audio, basically everything that has to do with making a great YouTube video.
So we're going to be teaching you guys how to make your next YouTube video a top tier professional level YouTube video. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
We're going to go through that. I mean, you're going to learn from our mistakes, and we're going to show you what to do and what not to do and go through.
Mainly my mistakes. He makes some, I make more.
Yeah. I have mine, though. I do.
But he does have his mistakes.
I own them.
Lots of them. But more over here.
Yeah.
So anyways, guys, let's get this show on the road. So where are we going to start?
Well, I'm going to say audio is probably... I'm going to start with audio. It might not be the first thing exactly, but it's very important.
So you're telling me that the things you hear through
Oh,
your
yeah.
ear holes is rather important then?
Oh,
So-
yeah, definitely. Especially if you want people to stay engaged in your video. A lot of the time what I'll see is, YouTubers that are mostly behind the camera, they'll make absolutely beautiful cinematic shots and put some really great narratives together, but you can't understand anything anybody's saying, or there's a big buzz in it. That's where you lose engagement, is when people can't understand it, they can't hear it, it doesn't sound right, they just move on.
You know what's wild about this is
What?
when I first started making videos, like beginning of pandemic, most of my videos had terrible quality audio. I was at first not using a mic whatsoever, and then I switched over to a wired mic that was plugged directly into my phone.
Yeah.
And realized that without the proper adapter, sometimes that doesn't work at all. And now we've got some pretty pro grade audio because of this guy up here. What do we have up here?
We have an Oktava pencil condenser, they call it.
An Oktava pencil condenser, which is not to be confused with Professor Octavia or Doc Ock from the Spider-Man series. But where's this guy from?
Yeah, well, it starts with an R.
And it ends with a Usha?
Yeah, that's it. You
Oh!
knew exactly what I was going to
It
say.
ends with an Usha. Look at, I mean, so this guy, we're not going to get into politics or
No,
anything,
no.
but if we tried to get one of these boys right now, something tells me that we might have a hard time getting into the States.
Oh,
Is that true?
I never thought about that. The price might have just went up.
Wow, so we're
Yeah.
sitting on some gold here.
Yeah, I don't want to drop a bomb on you here, but you might not have been able to find.
Too soon. Too soon. He
Probably
meant
cut that
nothing
out.
by it. So anyways, guys, here we are using a pencil condenser. In the
Yeah.
past, like I said, I had used a wired, is it a lab mic? Like,
A lav mic, a lavalier. We
So-
used lavaliers before, yeah.
so lavalier mic, not a lab mic.
No.
So it wasn't created in
Is
a
it-
laboratory by my 5th grade science teacher, because that's what I've always been under the understanding of, how these were created.
Well, you do use a laptop, don't you?
I do use a laptop, yes.
Or is it a laptop?
No, it's a laptop
It's a
because you
lab-
put it
it's
on the
on the
counter in the
laborat-
lab,
Okay,
right?
cool. Yeah, so we got that out of the way.
Okay.
So we got that. Yeah, so we were using what is it? Lavalier mics before, which are great in a run and gun situation because you can get audio that's you can hear really well. It's real direct. The problem is with that in a situation like this is it's a little too direct, so it can sound kind of dry. So, you might want to use something like a shotgun mic or an overhead condenser. We went with the overhead condenser because it sounds a little more natural. The shotgun mics, they're so directional, and it can be a little echoey in a room like this. So this ended up working out quite fine for us, except for these condenser mics are very, very sensitive. So in a home situation, one thing that can be very difficult would be, what do you think?
I mean, I've got a 5-year-old.
Yeah,
that's
5-year-old.
often home, and I've got a couple dogs and some cats. The cats are generally pretty quiet.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I've noticed is, this thing is really good at picking up noise.
Yeah.
And when the dogs are walking on the floor above me, sometimes I just wish that I invested in some kitten mittens. I mean, in all honesty, probably alleviate some issues that I'm having here. This thing is so freaking good that I can hear my dogs walking and forget about them barking, because I mean that's enough to completely kill our video.
Where do you buy dogs?
Shut up!
Well, why treat the room when you could just treat the dogs? Just
Yeah,
wrap them up in foam and put mittens on them. I think maybe we should do another video on that. Acoustic treatment for your dog, for your pet.
Stay tuned for our episode on kitten mittens and puppy mittens.
Puppy mittens, kitten mittens.
So anyways, you were talking about the run and gun, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Transition into the shotgun mic.
Yeah, the shotgun mics. Those are really cool.
Can we see what that looks like? I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but let's take a look.
This is a shotgun mic because it looks like a shotgun. These are great. This one actually mounts. It's a small one. It mounts to the top of your camera, so you have good audio anywhere. You can just pull something out. The camera audio, generally speaking, is going to just not be as powerful and not sound as clear as something like this. This is going to go wherever you point it. So this is a great option for you. And they usually have these guys on. This reduces wind noise. I know Chris. I don't know if I showed you this. Do you know what this is?
Oh yeah. This guy here. This is called a fluffer. So what you do with this is when it's cold winter months in Michigan, sometimes it gets below freezing here, believe it or not, and we're gonna want to slide this guy on our finger when we go outside to do our morning shoveling, and this is gonna keep us nice and toasty. And just in case we're in need of a friend, this is always a very pettable creature.
Well, pettable creature maybe, but that's actually called a dead cat.
Well, he's getting pretty morbid on me now.
No, well, actually, that's the industry term for it. If somebody asks you for a dead cat, okay, Chris. No cats were harmed in the making of this.
All right. I'm a little more open to the name now. I still prefer the name Fluffer.
Well, I mean, I don't know which one is less appropriate, but the wind hits this thing and it diffuses, the hair on here diffuses the wind, and you don't get so much wind sound. It can help out a lot. Sometimes it doesn't help out,
At all.
Yeah, at all.
But I mean, either way, it does more good than an actual dead cat does. So that's a dang good thing, guys.
Yeah. And too, I mean, we talked about lavalier mics, we talked about shotgun mics, we talked about overhead condensers. You're going to want to record it on something. So you can either record onto your camera. We said you can record on your phone, or you can get an external recorder like this one. We actually have another one back there that's more of a professional grade Tascam that is actually mounted to the base of the camera. But this one is cool because it has its own condenser mics on it. They go left and right and an XY pattern. So XY is like this. So one shoots this way, one shoots that way, and you get the whole room. Also has XLR connectors in the back, so you can plug in 2 extra mics on here if you're on the go and you want to do some interview stuff. It's a great device. Both Zoom and Tascam make some great stuff. They're both about the same price. You can't go wrong. It's good because you got safety then. You got recording audio on your camera, recording audio on a second device. One goes bad, you're covered.
Yeah, you got audio everywhere. And
Everywhere.
you know what surprises me every time I hear it? The amount of knowledge that comes out of this guy's mouth. I mean, you get him on a tangent about some audio, and it's like, wow, man, this guy, I would think he might be an audio engineer or something.
Well, it sounds like it.
Yeah, I mean,
I just love history. There's a lot of history in the audio.
And I just love your company.
You know what?
And you know what they say?
History loves company. Oh my gosh.
But anyways, so we've got audio out of the way. Now your videos are going to be sounding great. What is the next step? Are we going to talk about the studio, the room that we're in?
Why don't we take a look at the room we're in right now? Okay, so as you can see, the room isn't very big, Chris.
No, this is Chris's basement.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
turned what was a non-legal bedroom, meaning this was a bedroom before I moved here that has a makeshift closet, but it definitely does not have any egress windows. But you know, on the listing when I purchased it, it was listed as a bedroom, but that's not the case. So what did we do with this very odd-shaped room with a sump pump over in the corner that I have absolutely no use for? We turned it into a freaking film studio so that we can film pro-quality YouTube videos for you guys. And should we tell them a little bit about the room?
Yeah, well, what's the square footage of the room, Chris?
I don't know, the square footage of this room is probably like 80 square feet, and it's a really dumb shape as well. It's got little nooks and crannies everywhere, which really just kills any sort of space that you have in here.
So many nooks.
And we've been able to make it work. We're making pro-quality videos for you guys in a dingy basement room with almost no space at all.
Oh yeah, and really, I mean, this is probably the smaller size of the rooms that you're going to want to use, just because you want to have enough room to have the cameras away from you, so you get this really pretty background, the bokeh background, depth of field. Also, you want to keep for that depth of field, you want to keep your subject far enough away from the back wall, so those things will, stay a little out of focus to make your subject look a little sharper. And also, if we show them a little bit of the video of me trying to turn the lights on and off for your intro, you'll see that it was like that scene in Mission Impossible when they drop them in to avoid the lasers. There's stands, equipment cables. It's all really clean. It's just that everything's really condensed. So you might want to do a little bit bigger of a room just for that sake, and for your equipment's sake, for your family's sake.
Let's be honest, Rick. If we were in any smaller of a room, I would pretty much be sitting on your lap.
I don't know if I like this. Just kidding, he does it all the time.
So yeah, guys, that's the room. We've got audio out of the way. We've got the room out of the way. Wait. We don't have the room out of the way. What are we missing?
We're missing,
blankets. And
yeah.
Let me tell you guys something. We've got blankets in here, and they're not for a blanket fort. So I'm going to turn it over to this guy to tell you what those moving blankets are for.
Okay, so, like we said, audio is very important. So we have to make sure the room sounds good too. So these blankets on the walls are actually our acoustic treatment. It is a hack that you can afford. You probably have these already laying around, or just go up to your local Harbor Freight and pick them up for, I don't know, like 10, 15 bucks. They got them in black, which is really cool. We hung these on some old backdrop stands that we have, but you can also use clothing racks and things like that, or build your own frame. What this does is it cuts down the echo of the room. So if let's say we had a huge budget, or we just had a budget, we would get some acoustic foam, maybe some diffusion for the low frequencies. But on a YouTuber's budget, that's probably not going to work. Plus, this works really, really well, actually. So I would say if you need to deaden down your room a little bit, these work just fine. Also, popping a rug on the floor also helps out. And maybe even if you get a couple of tiles, they're not very expensive. If you just get a couple of them instead of doing a whole wall, do a little bit on the ceiling too. So you can really do this stuff on a budget pretty easily, and really, really bring your audio game up, because you can have great mics, you can have a great recorder, great equipment. But if your room sounds like garbage, it's gonna sound like garbage. Can't polish that.
Yeah, no. I mean, if the room sounds like a dead cat, it very well is a dead cat.
Yeah, you can't polish a dead cat.
No,
I mean, that was what I was looking for.
No, not at all. So guys, that's about everything for audio and for the room. We've gotten through those completely, and if there's any details that we left out, we'll have a future video for you to discuss those. Moving forward, the next part of the puzzle is going to be
lighting.
Without the proper lighting, could we possibly have a video that looks this good? I mean, are we doing this just based off of this light that we see in the background? Is that all we've got going on here?
No, we're using a 3-point lighting technique.
3-point lighting technique.
3-point lighting technique. And
that means 3 lights.
3 lights. So what we do is we have one light, a key light on the subject, and we start that up. And then we have another light over to the corner that washes out the other side. So we have one down here as well.
Wash out!
Yeah, it gets rid of the once you put the key light on, you're going to get shadows. You take that other one, you get rid of some of the shadows on the other side. Then we have this other light in the back here, And what this one does is they call it like your shoulder light, your backlight. And this gets the light going this way to get everything else illuminated. If it's a small room, I sometimes bounce it off the back wall to add some light and color, and then it hits us. But yeah, so that's our 3-point lighting technique. Really simple and actually pretty inexpensive.
We want to talk about what kind of lights we have.
Yeah. Let's talk about what kind of lights we have.
All right, so we've got, like we said, we've got 3 of them here, guys, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I didn't have to break the bank for these guys. So we've got a couple newer lights. All 3 of these lights are actually going to be newer lights. There are 2 different models here.
That's the brand name, Newer.
Newer is the brand name. That is absolutely correct. And they produce light. So with these lights, I'd say we're probably a couple $100 into lights, which is fairly affordable in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it's a fraction of the price that other LED panels cost.
Yeah, I mean, there's some pretty expensive boys out there. So yeah, we've been able to get into this fairly inexpensive and create a pretty solid looking video for you guys here. So with that being said, we can control the temperature on these as well.
Yeah,
right? They've got some adjustability.
You can go more warmer or cooler, like tungsten or daylight. So you can really tune the room really well and get a lot of character out of it.
So like in the winter months, we can turn on the warmer colors and it'll heat up the room and keep us warm while we're filming.
Sure. No, you can't do that. But it's aesthetic. I mean, it's so cooler, more blue. Warmer, more orange.
Oh,
so okay. Warmer would be considered a more natural look.
Makes sense.
Yes.
I'm sorry for the misunderstanding there,
No, it's
Rick.
okay. It happens quite often.
Yeah, it went right over my head. So with that being said, I think we've knocked out lighting, correct?
We did, yeah.
So we've got audio
Yeah.
out of the way. We've got the room out of the way. And we've got lighting out of the way.
Yes.
And I think is there one more or...
Oh no! I think there might be. From my perspective, I think there's only one more, right?
One more. All right. Let's see if that's how it goes here.
Yeah, it never goes to plan. But here we go. You guys probably stuck around to see this guy. We actually went through quite a bit of cameras to settle on this. This guy is a Canon 90D. This is probably my favorite camera we've used because it is so easy to use. It is very intuitive, not much fiddliness like we went over before, right? We talked about fiddliness here. This guy here, it is very set it and forget it if that's what you want. You can get into more of the features and functions if you have time, if you're a videographer. But when it comes to having something that you can just open up and get started, it's great. We've used other cameras like the Lumix G85s. Those have great features. They look really nice if you know how to use them and if you have time to use them. Now, I got pretty good at using that camera, but I didn't have the time to fiddle through the menus and mess with everything every time, and it just basically ate up shoots. So
yeah, I mean, he sets me up with one of these cameras, and I start playing with it, and the fiddliness factor, I mean, was just far too high. So I told him, go back to the drawing board, find us something that'll work out a little better for what we're looking to do, because I don't have much knowledge in this stuff, and I don't got time to learn it all. So let's get something we can set up, forget it, and go on about our day.
Yeah, you're not filming a feature film here. You're not going to be color. You can do some color grading if you know how to do it. That's a completely different video and a completely different. Yeah, that's a job there. But like when it comes to doing YouTube content, you want to have quick turnover rate because you want to stay current. So I'm not saying cut corners and make it bad. I'm just saying you want to have something that you can get a good shot out of right out of the box. You open it up, you get it going, little to maybe some effort, and then have a product. Another reason why I really like these cameras is the lens selection. They've been making these lenses for probably, I don't know, don't quote me on this, over 20 years. You can get a Canon EF lens just about anywhere. You can find them at garage sales, you can find them at pawn shops, and they'll fit on here. They'll work just fine.
So what you're saying is Canon's got a little bit of history behind the brand?
They have some serious history. I'm sure that everybody knows who Canon is, even if you're not a photographer or videographer.
I mean, I've heard of them a couple times. So going along with this Canon, so we've got the 90D here, and then we also have, what's that other one called over there?
We have the older brother in age. We have the 80D, not the 80D.
Okay, so the ADD, not ADD like Ritalin Adderall, but
No,
like AD numerical.
Before
D.
that one, they had the 70D, and before that one, they had the 60D. So that was the model number, the 80D. Great camera. It is very similar. I mean, I really can't tell the difference once we get them shot of the two cameras we're using, especially because we're shooting them in 1080, so there's really not much difference. The biggest difference, like I said, was if you're shooting in 1080, the 80D doesn't do 4K. And for this kind of content, we don't need it.
All right, wonderful. And another thing that I'm noticing here is this 90D you're holding, it seems to have a rather large, what's this?
Oh, yeah. So the lenses we use. So actually, you can actually go with a cheaper camera, but I would go for a better lens every time. The glass is the most important part. Sometimes, people can spend a fraction of the price on their camera than they can their lens to get a good shot. This actual lens isn't that expensive for a cinema lens. This is a Sigma 18 to 35 cinema lens. This one cost me, I think, like around $600, $650, something like that on sale. You could probably get it for a little more, a little less, depending on where you're shopping. But this has really gotten us to a place that I think the videos look really nice.
Yeah,
really
I mean,
nice.
I'd have to agree with you. I think these are pretty pro-grade videos, one might say. So you guys get yourself some similar camera audio equipment, you'd probably be knocking these out of the park just like us.
You use your Lumixes, use Sonys. I love Sonys. We actually use one Sony camera because it's a good smaller, the ZV-1, the Sony ZV-1. Awesome for vlogging. But, really you can get a lot of the same stuff for all the different brands. So
yeah, absolutely. So that's about everything, right?
I thought so. That's all I had on my list for today. I can't think of anything else.
What about, I think there's one more piece to this. What about the talent?
Oh.
We've got to put somebody behind the camera, right?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that the reason that I brought you in today? I mean, the talent.
I really appreciate
the beautiful human being
thank you so
behind the
much.
camera. I mean, this is the individual that is coming here in front of a camera, spitting out all of this nonsense and trying to turn this into a video that people enjoy to consume. And I mean, it's a pretty big piece of the puzzle. I mean, without having talent or somebody on the other side of the camera, I mean, how could we ever create a video? I mean, I guess we could animate some graphics and do some stuff like that, but I think humans probably connect better when human beings are speaking to them through the camera.
Yes.
Right?
I do agree. I'm going to say this, okay? Scrap everything we just said earlier. The most important thing is you. You can't do this if you don't have experience doing it. You can't do this if you don't practice.
Pretty much what you're going to want to do, guys, you want to document your story, and I understand that there is a huge fear that goes along with getting in front of a camera and pressing that record button, but act like you're just talking to a friend. Turn that camera on, sit down, and start talking. You'll be amazed at what comes out and what sort of quality content you can produce once you get comfortable. If you're not comfortable, keep doing it. I swear this gets easier. When I first started making videos, I was extremely nervous, and I wanted to craft perfect story for everyone. If I had one little bobble in my words, I mean, it was the end of the world, and I was going to throw that video out the window, and I was going to start all over. I wasted a lot of time, and believe it or not, at one point in time, I wasn't so confident in front of a camera, and now you see me, and I can't shut the hell up.
Yeah.
So, moral of the story is, guys, if you've got someone who is good in front of a camera, utilize them. But more importantly, put yourself in front of that camera, start documenting your story, and just continue to practice. With each and every attempt, this will get easier, and you'll produce higher quality content each and every time, as long as you don't give up.
Yeah, and you really, like I said, everything that we said before, if you have an iPhone, I mean, you could get started right now, right away. Just put that camera up on your phone, pop it open, start recording videos, get used to it, get comfortable. The quality is going to be great. It's going to look awesome. And then buy your first piece of audio gear. And then buy your light. And then get your awesome camera. Build up. Don't have to buy it all at once.
Or you can.
But
you definitely don't have to.
No, don't
build
break
that
the bank.
arsenal. Start off slow. Start off, with your phone, a tripod perhaps, and maybe a lav mic if you can afford one. But moral of the story is just start somewhere. You've got to start somewhere.
In the words of Captain Planet, the power
is yours. Yeah, I mean, that's about all the time we've got for the... I mean, let's be honest. We've got more time, but I think we've covered everything that we set out to cover in this video, right?
Enough said. Every home has a story.
Whoa, bro. That's mine. I know that I just, gave you the talent label for this video, but... All right, here we go. Remember, every home has a story. Let's discover yours. Bye! Bye! Welcome to History Loves Company.